In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, the one who is worthy of relying and the one who is worthy of trusting, the one who is worthy of glorifying, and the one who is worthy of mentioning. He is the one who is worthy of praising, and we seek all bounties in which he has promised to those whom he has favored. And we beg of him to spare us from those whom he has associated with those Iblis progenies. Because Iblis is the Lucifer, he's the devil. That dude really bad, very, very bad. As Adam is the father of the human beings, that dude is the father of the jinn, and making people delusioned and selling their souls and acting like it did not happen is just wrong. So that we have to get off our chest before we proceed on to the numerous requests. Well, I will not consider necessarily that numerous, but we have to spend more time on Isaias. We were hoping we were able to wrap up Isaias. Unfortunately, the problem is that many things transpired with the three of us, meaning Rashid al-Lubnani, rahimahullah, and Falaq Abdul Fattah Muhammad, and yours truly. At that age, there were a number of overlaps also left in the prior area. In other words, prior to actually coming, between which we can say was between the first journey to Africa and the second journey. If we remember, there was a time that we were, instead of taken from Medina Bay to Touba, which is all in Senegal, we were sent back to United States. This is the story that we have received. Now, there are a few things. The asthma situation, again, we had been hospitalized for that prior to leaving American soil, or at least for some time in the hospital. I cannot say specifically how long it was. And there was a time when, Malika Mona Muhammad would hide the TV from us. But when she did allow us to watch it, she watched it with us. And a number of things, she did not want us to watch Tarzan. She believed that Tarzan gave us the impression that Africa was all jungle. So she didn't know Tarzan was off. But she did allow us to watch with her Mission Impossible, and on some occasions Knight Rider, on some occasions, and she would, either mute or turn the TV off when something was inappropriate. She also did have us watch some of the Chinese movies. She found those to be well enough, and this is how we met Bruce Lee. But anyhow, so that's another one. And we did actually enroll in courses. They were, from my recollection, they were quite brief, because again, this is from the time that we returned to the time that we were sent back. And so now that Warithuddin and Lawi and who else? Abdul Sabur, Muhammad. These were all at Al Madrasa Al Islamiyah. Sister Hafiza and Abdullah, little Abdullah, and Hafiza, the Hafiza that I knew. This was in Brooklyn, so I don't remember them being at Al Madrasa Al Islamiyah in Staten Island. These were, and then Adam was also there. Adam, I believe he was at Al Madrasa Al Islamiyah. I remember him, and Falak remembers Kaaba at Al Madrasa Al Islamiyah. So this was back in the 82, 83, onto 83. And so now that we are through those overlaps there, we actually now have to clarify a few other medical conditions, including the fractured foot in the garage, as well as the broken arm from falling off of the roof, acting like a real musketeer of some nature and feeling like yours truly could get the shoe after tossing it with the foot up on the roof, and a younger musketeer was there. But anyhow, um, so I fell down and fractured my left arm. So that's the foot, and that was the left foot, I believe. The father felt he could put some Chinese medicine on it, and I directed him to the wrong foot. So he had a yeah, he thought that was pretty funny. Well, he told the story for a while, and that's how I thought, and he grinned about it. So he thought that was pretty clever, maybe not. AKF. And the fractured arm, yes, that was put in a casket. It healed. This was also we had mentioned during the military base LGE of Mbao. Malik Kumbanjai was the headmaster at that time. This is also very important. There was also Madame Bai. She was one of the teachers there. She was, I believe, first grade teacher. And also, there is a blueprint of ESAS. We can say that it's a good 3/4. It sits, the whole property sits on a um, 3/4 of an acre. There is a 3-layer at least difference on a vertical end. Horizontally speaking, there is at least a 3-layer. Vertically speaking, the layers go as forward when you turn into the area of this fence, where the fence actually begins, of the compound. The first layer is going to be the garage. The second layer would be the offices. The third layer would be the quarters for uh, the storage or animals. And then, so now we're going to actually correct that to going from 4 to 5. So because that's where we remember getting, hunting and getting rats out of that storage area. Then we have the next layer, which was practically sittings quarters, and Musienjai's class was there. This also incorporated a out to what was known as the garden, or Tolbi. Tolbi had a variety of trees, including at least, I would say, a dozen mango trees. It had a large, vast lemon tree. And it also had other, the mango trees were of different type, because mango comes in various fruit forms. At times, there were also fruit trees known as the grenade fruit tree. Melons, we also had numerous of them there. Um, but what we mainly did in the garden, because it's sandy, it's trees, is that we would spend time playing football. We made sure every morning before we went to either class, well, if it was French, then no, that was a difference. But for Quran class, we always made sure that we would play soccer, because it was right next to the classes. So when sitting came, he would watch for a moment, and then he would say, "It's time for class." But beyond the layer of the classrooms and the Tolbi, which is the garden. We have the layer of the Khaliguri. Khaliguri were the oldest of the musketeers, if one may, or what are known as Grand Musketeers. This is where you have Asim Rahimahullah's earlier quarters, Jean Amadou Papin. We're talking about Tonton Nablai, Fal, Ahmed Fal. Like these were their quarters. And then the next layer would be us children, young boys, which were again myself, Tafafal, Dudugay, Sheikhuna, Bipo, Musafal, Dam Sise, Papanjai. Um, let's see, who am I? Okay, so after Papanjai, I believe we had Sitting Mudu, we had Papa Bay, Badra is there, Papa Cham, that's what I'm thinking. So we were at that number, and then from that layer, the frontal end of the home was the quarters of the father. The Casby is on the left, and the entrance to the house from the front, there would be an entrance directly from the Casby to the back of the house, the compound. And so from there to the right of the Casby, this is where he had his dining room, living room. And then on the other side of that is where the females were, his wives, Tanta Abijain, Tanta Fanjai, Tanta Abifal, rahmatullahi alayha. And so this was the layer to that end. And from there, then you had the kitchens, you had some more open restrooms. You had another long dining room for everybody to eat at. It was very, it was quite popular, and of course you had the little masjid where when sitting called the adhan, anybody who did not make it of us was toast. And when I say us, I mean just the little boys. Everybody else could have passed. So then on the other side of the little mosque, there is a little wudu ablution area that he had built. And then on the other side of that fence is another garage, another truck garage. So this was the layer, and I have also mentioned such as to some medical associated agencies and histories. And I think that suffices there. We may follow this up with one more, but we really do want to move on because we have Luga, but even prior to Luga, we have, 1 year intermediary between Isaias and Luga. Very important year, what would transpire there. So we really want to get it moving. Hopefully this, practically sums it up. The hierarchies we mentioned, we cannot give, direct specifications other than what our level was at that time. So we cannot go about, the variousness between the male hierarchy versus the female hierarchy, or even to say that we can discuss, someone's private life is not the case. What we are doing is clarifying various elements which substantiate the career of the Quranic teacher and activist. We want to thank everyone for tuning in, and we hope that everyone enjoys, this series. I think that it is very helpful, it is very harmonious, and we hope the same for everyone. They find any way, or they find the correct way, the appropriate way to do that in which is harmonious.